Howdy folks, and I hope your steaks are sharp and your garlic pungent wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for my pick of the best 1/6 scale bloodsuckers. Well, the best in my collection at least. And I've got to say it was no easy task picking just 6, and any puns, fair warning here, any puns you hear during this video are fully intentional. So, as regulars to the channel will know, I am a sucker for all things horror, old and new, and didn't realise just how many Vampirella I have in the collection until I decided to make this video anyway. But before we dive into the undead elite, I'd like to send the usual Carpathian castle-sized shout out to everyone who's supported the channel. And please drop a like on this video as it helps other people, fine go figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the 1/6 scale news, views and reviews that we've got coming up. But enough of my ramblings, it's time to get uncomfortably close to the first fanged fiend. Okay folks, so first up to bat, it is Nosferatu, courtesy of Caustic Plastic. No particular order on these figures, it's not a top 10 or anything like that, but and also this is not going to be Caustic Plastic's only appearance in this countdown. But yeah, what we're looking at here is Max Schreck from the classic F.W. Murnau 1922 silent director movie Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. And what a beautiful piece it is too. Really magnificent example of Caustic Plastic playing their art. But let's have a close-up look at him. We'll start with that base. It's the usual story from Caustic Plastic, that hollow plastic base with the wonderful magnet system that works so well, that beautiful nameplate on the front there. And we'll start with proportions actually on this guy, and it's the proportions that always strike me about this figure. They are captured perfectly by Caustic Plastic there. Tall, thin, gaunt looking, and it's just absolutely nailed on. Those shoes, beautifully done. They look very, very simple, and they are very, very well sculpted. Perfect amount of weathering. Let's take a look at these pants. Very simple, beautiful material, really high quality material, excellent stitch work, the kind of stitch work that we've come to expect from Caustic Plastic. And as you move up, you are greeted with this beautiful coat. This is one of the nicest 6 scale coats I have ever seen. The material that they've used here, now I'm not sure whether this is velvet, but it feels like a crushed velvet. The colour is beautiful, the feel of the material is wonderful, the stitch work on here is next level stuff. Those buttons on the front are beautiful, those cuffs are really, really well done. And just the level of detailing on here, it is relatively simple, but it's the little things that make this. The little ruffs there, or ruffles on the shoulders, the stitch work around the back here with the that vent at the back, and then those buttons halfway up. It's beautifully elegant, lovely material. I mean, the only criticism I would level at this jacket, and really, well, it's not a criticism, it's the nature of the material itself. If you go and keep those arms bent for any length of time at the elbow there, it can discolour this material a little bit. Normally it will brush out if it's not been too long, but I will be hesitant to actually keep this guy in an arms up pose for any real length of time because of that issue. But yeah, accessories, what do you get with this guy? Well, you've got these beautiful 6 scale rats that are circling around his feet. Also comes with all manner of stuff. You get lockets, you get keys, you get paperwork, you get all manner of things. But not least, you get a swap out head sculpt, the hatted swap out head sculpt with a different expression on it, which is a great addition as well. You get multitude of swap out arms, and this is regulars to the channel will know me banging on about Caustic Plastic and their hands. These hands don't swap out at the wrist, they swap out about halfway up the arm there, just before the elbow joint. And to this day, they are still some of the best 1/6 scale hands I have ever seen. The paint applications are superb, the bone work, the sculpting, the structure in there, the nails themselves are a thing of beauty, and how they've been painted. And you get so many swap out arms here that really the posing's only limited by your imagination. And they are all of the same superb quality. Even up the forearms themselves, the vein work, that that deathly pallor to the skin has been captured beautifully, and like I say, I keep banging on about it, but it's probably still to this day my favourite hands in 1/6 scale. And let's talk about that head sculpt. Wow, what can I say? Absolutely phenomenal head sculpt there from Caustic Plastic. Those eyes are super glassy. They have captured the likeness of Max Schreck perfectly, from that reddening under the eyes there, around the eyes, those wonderfully painted teeth with those two long teeth at the front there. The skin tones, the skin textures, all nailed on. Even down to the little clumps of hair behind the ears there, which are actually, I won't say real hair, they're artificial hair rather than sculpted in, just for that finishing touch. But the skin tones and textures really here are something to behold, even if you're not a fan of horror or a fan of F.W. Murnau's classic. You can't help but be impressed by the work that Caustic Plastic have put in here, and still one of my favourite pieces in the horror collection. So there you have it, folks. We're kicking off with a good one. Let's move on swiftly to the next. So next in our list of the undead, it is none other than Dracula himself, played by Gary Oldman in Francis Ford Coppola's 1992 movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, brought to us by none other than Redmond Toys. Now, caught in controversy here when you even mention Redmond Toys to most collectors. Yeah, provokes an extreme response. A lot of people consider them not to be bona fide figure makers simply because of how they acquire some of their head sculpts and so on, and perhaps they can be accused of copying other people's work. But let's put that all to one side and just take in this piece in all its splendor. Now, I had a bit of experience with Redmond Toys, and on the whole, yeah, they're not the best figures in the world, but for some strange reason, out of nowhere, they produced this, what I think is an absolutely phenomenal piece. It's a very, very simple piece. Underneath the two robes here, the white robe and the red sort of cape thing that's going on, is just the body. There's nothing else to this outfit. However, it is stunning. Absolutely stunning. That super vibrant red material there. It's double stitched and lined, and it falls beautifully, and the screen accuracy is incredible. The very, very simple sort of satin finished robe underneath, and there goes his sword, and we'll get to that. It's a metal sword. Yeah, the robes underneath, absolutely beautiful. Very, very simple, but that pattern at the top there, the way the collar's done, they're all screen accurate. The embroidery on the actual on the lapels of this sort of I'm going to call it a cape, but it's not a cape, it's more sort of a nightgown. Beautifully done, absolutely beautifully done. I would spin this guy around, but this thing is so long, this flowing robe, that it's difficult to get him to turn, but I'll try my best, and you can get an idea here of just how much of it there is, and it flows beautifully, and it makes a great centerpiece, this, it really, really does. The articulation is okay, the body, it's okay, it's relatively cheap, but it's got the articulation that you need. It's not one for super dynamic posing, this. Not much in the way of accessories on this guy. You get this sort of lantern that you pop a button cell battery in and it will light up if you're wanting to use that feature. You get a number of swap out hands, and the sculpt is pretty good actually for this kind of figure. The nails are done really, really well. It's not the best, it's not up to say Caustic Plastic standards, but it's very good. You've got that signet ring, the Dracula family signet ring on there as well, which is nicely done. The fingernails actually pop on here very, very well, and are worthy of a much more expensive figure. So yeah, hands are very, very nice, and that lantern, as I mentioned, is exceptionally well done. It's all done in metal, and as is this sword that just fell out of his hand, and that's probably one of the few complaints I've got about this. It's a beautiful sword, and it's screen accurate and very, very well made, but unfortunately Redmond Toys didn't give us a suitable hand for gripping it with, so the hand that we do have, it just has a tendency to fall out, so it takes a little bit of balancing getting that to stay in place if you're wanting to use it in the display, but that's a minor niggle. let's get up to this head sculpt. The icing on the cake, I'm going to bring him forward a little bit here. I think this is a phenomenal head sculpt. Now, I'm not going to enter into the argument whether this was lifted from another company, whether it was lifted from a custom maker. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to appreciate this thing for all its beauty. Absolutely 100% Gary Oldman as Dracula. The paint applications on there are wonderful. They've got that mottled skin texture, that deathly pallor. The eyes are super glassy. There's that just a hint of a smirk on the face there. You've got the lines and the crow's feet going on. Overall, it is, from every angle, this is Gary Oldman. From Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that hair. I think they have done a stunning work, some stunning work with the hair, Redmond here. What you've got, I mean, it's all one piece of sculpted plastic, obviously, but the individual strands are picked out. The paint applications are phenomenal. If you bring it round to the side here, you can see that creasing in the neck area there. There's dark patches in the skin, age dark patches, just wonderful work, even down to his ears, suggesting that they've grown for the many hundreds of years he's been around, are super long as well. And round the back, you've got that hair continued, and this is a sculpted piece of plastic as well. The hair there running down the back. The hair is a thing of beauty on its own, with those braids in the back and how it's been plaited, and then those enormous buns and the shading in the centre there. So yeah, absolutely incredible piece of work, and this came out of left field for me, the quality of this. I do have a few other Redmond pieces in the collection, most notably David from Lost Boys, and I've got the Grady twins as well from The Shining, but this piece really is punching way above its weight, and I think it is superb. So there you have it, folks. That's Redmond's take on Gary Oldman as Dracula. Onwards and upwards. So folks, next on the list, it's Wesley Snipes as Blade from Guillermo del Toro's 2002 Blade 2 movie, and not technically a vampire here. Yeah, this guy's only half suckhead, so yeah, but he's made it on the list anyway, so I think being half vampire is enough to get you on the list. And this piece is widely considered to be a grail. I know Present Toys have had a go at it, a few other companies have had a go at it, but I still think it's a stunning piece. Let's have an up-close look at the vampire hunter, half human, half bloodsucker. And the first thing to say about this figure is probably the outfit. Now, it's the only figure you're going to see here probably that's not actually on its stand or on its base, and there's a reason for that. This all pleather outfit. Now, pleather, yes, strikes fear into the undead heart of all collectors. It's a stake through our hearts, in fact, but for some odd reason, which I can't fathom, this is holding up amazingly. From the leather pants, the leather overcoat, pleather rather, overcoat, and the pleather waistcoat and pleather pants, and we're seeing little or no deterioration here. Now, I do treat my figures with Aerospace 303, and I do it on a regular basis. It's also very rarely comes out of the cabinet and very rarely gets changed up in pose because of the fragility of it. But the pleather is holding up amazingly well, and we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Sculpted plastic boots, screen accurate, really nice. You've got those pleather trousers to mimic the leather trousers, which are just the right proportions, really well made, really well put together. You've got those real metal stakes on the legs there, moving up to that signature waistcoat, beautifully done with the stitch work. The shirt underneath there, the buckles are fantastic. The accessories with this figure are second to none. You get all the weapons, you get all the throwing weapons, all the guns, you get his sword, which can be put onto his back there, or you can have him holding it. Accessories phenomenal. It comes with the standard issue Hot Toys oval base with the sticker on it, which I'm not a big fan of, but as I said, don't use a stamp with this figure. Using a crotch grabber or a waist grabber with this figure would be certain death for the pleather, so I leave it as it is. The lining on the inside of that coat is satiny, shiny, super high gloss, beautifully done, well stitched in. Posability is up there, but as I say, posing this figure, dynamic posing is really not on the cards. Not now, anyway. Not considering its age. But let's take a look at that head sculpt. Now, I think this head sculpt still stands up today. I think it's a phenomenal piece of work. If this was to drop today, I would still give it a very, very high score indeed. So how Hot Toys managed to do this back in the day, I don't know. It was back when they used to work magic. Nowadays, they just seem to churn out stuff for the sake of it 90% of the time, with the occasional gem thrown in there. Those tattoos on the back of the neck there are beautifully done. The skin texturing is excellent. Yes, I suppose it could be slightly improved today if this figure was given a 2.0 release. We'd probably see a slightly better sculpt and slightly better skin textures, but I still think this works beautifully. That hair, the hairstyle, the way it's been done is phenomenal, and overall, yeah, I think it's a superb piece. I'm just turning him around here so you can get a view of the how this pleather hasn't deteriorated. Eternal life for pleather for some strange reason on this figure. But yeah, that head sculpt, absolutely spot on, beautifully done. We'll get him facing straight into the camera there. The moustache, really nicely done. The paint applications are great. The furrows on the forehead there, and that's continued all the way around. The proportions on this figure are perfect, absolutely perfect. There are Wesley Snipes all over. You've got the muscularity there. If you take that overcoat off, the body itself, very, very good. As I say, the articulation has stood the test of time really well. There's no jankiness in there, and it's just a great piece, and really, really easy to see why this is considered a grail. I think it's a fitting tribute to the movie, to Wesley Snipes, and to Guillermo del Toro as well, that Hot Toys gave us such an amazing vampire hunter here. So there you have it, folks. That is Hot Toys' take on Wesley Snipes as Blade from Blade 2. So let's dig down deeper and find out who's in the next coffin, and what collection of vampires would be complete without the man who is probably most synonymous with the Count. There's a handful of actors out there who we will always associate with Dracula, but probably none more than the genius that was Bela Lugosi here, seen from, I think it's the 1931 take on Dracula. The movie was called Dracula, and yeah, no collection of vampires would be complete without this guy. And I've still got to say as well, Caustic Plastic again here making another appearance, but they excel themselves here. They excel themselves with the Nosferatu figure. They excel themselves here as well with the Bela Lugosi figure. Still one of my all-time favourite figures in the collection. It is a work of genius, in my opinion. It's a thing of beauty. But we will do as we always do. Let's have a quick once-over. Usual base there, usual story with the Bela Lugosi signature on the front there. Magnetic as always. It's let's start with this outfit. This outfit is tailored within an inch of its life and a thing of beauty. It's almost perfect. Well, in fact, I think it is actually perfect. I can't see what they could have improved here, from the opera cape to the suit itself, the fishtail suit, the evening suit, the dress suit, the waistcoat, beautiful, bow tie, shirt, everything here. There isn't a loose stitch. There isn't a piece of thread hanging down or an out of proportion stitch work to be seen anywhere on this figure. And I'll just pull back so you can get an idea of the proportions here. Absolutely perfect. Slightly shorter in the leg, Bela Lugosi there. A little bit of thickness around the midriff. Just perfect. I took some photos when I first got this piece, and I actually took them in black and white and put them up on a Universal Monster fan page, and I had people replying to my photographs saying they don't remember the scene in that film. This is how good this figure is. This is what I got into 6-scale figure collecting for. This thing is just simply stunning. The articulation is amazing, accessories are great. Once again, comes with his own coffin. If you go for the deluxe version, the hands are so expressive and so beautifully painted. The same as the Nosferatu figure here, but not quite with that deathly pallor, but beautifully done. And there are so many to go at here. I suppose it would have been nice to see if I had an addition to make. Maybe they could have put some kind of PERS system in for the eyes, but that's a personal thing more than anything else. The head sculpt. What can I say about that head sculpt? There is not an angle there where it drops. There's not an angle there where it isn't Bela Lugosi. From that slick back black hair with the individual strands picked out to the slightly deathly pallor there, the dark circles under the eyes. The eyes are so beautifully done. You actually feel like this thing's going to come to life. Those eyes are so piercing and capture Bela Lugosi beautifully. The lipstick, because he did wear some lipstick during the filming just to highlight his lips, even down to the minor blemishes in his skin on the side there that you can see. There's even the tiniest hint of 5 o'clock shadow, but it's barely perceptible. And let's spin him round just so you can see this guy from the side. The light loves this figure. It bounces off this figure, and it's so photogenic. The camera absolutely loves it as well. The fall of this gown, this cape, is superb. It really is. It's superb, and it's a gush fest, but I make no apologies. I think what Costic Plastic have given us here is a simply amazing figure. Any fan of Lugosi, any fan of the Universal monsters, it's a must-have in the collection. And I am so looking forward to their Lon Chaney, their Phantom of the Opera, their London After Midnight, and probably more than anything, their Frankenstein that they recently announced that we did a preview for on the channel. Check that out. It is looking stunning. But this really is close to probably, well, if I was to pick one out of all of the figures that we're going to look at in this video, this will be a very, very strong contender for the #1 spot. It's simply stunning. So there you have it, folks. That's Bela Lugosi. I don't know who's going to try and top this one, but we'll soon find out. Okay, folks, so every best of's got to have its sort of left field entry, and this is it. It's Vampirella, courtesy of Executive Replicas. Now, Vampirella, she's been around since 1969, I think, was the first time that she sprang from the mind of Forrest J. Ackerman, the creator of this particular character. Vampirella isn't an earthbound vampire, not like the rest of the ones that we've looked at. No, she's an alien from another planet where rivers of blood flow like water, and the indigenous population have to drink blood to survive. Iconic character, and in my humble opinion, an amazing piece of work here from Executive Replicas, capturing the likeness. But we'll start with that base, and it's a huge base. This base is incredible. The detailing on here is fantastic. You've got sort of the ground effect there with greens and browns and mud and rocks all painted really well. Piles of skulls going on. You've got that wall at the back there with that sort of undead arm reaching out from the grave. That gravestone is really, really well done. It's got a bit of acreage, this particular base, and it's got some heft to it as well. It's huge, and it's got one major issue which I found super strange when I first got this particular figure. There is no visible means of support for Vampirella herself. There's no waist grabber, there's no crotch grabber, nothing at all. As Vampirella devotees will know, and if you don't know, she wears these ridiculously spiky stiletto heels. So getting her to stand on this base, freestand on this base, is nothing short of a miracle. What I've done here is I've got a couple of self-adhesive pads underneath those tiny soles on these ridiculously high boots here, not very secure, and she's in danger of toppling at any moment. So she does during this video. I ask for your forgiveness beforehand. So the figure itself, well, proportions, well, I'm not going to go into the proportions, they speak for themselves. It's a TB League Thyssen seamless body, and it's beautifully done. It's the articulation on this figure is always going to be limited, because if you keep it in any kind of pose for any length of time, you're going to rip that beautiful work that they've done on the body here. The outfit, well, what little of it there is very well done, with sort of this plastic painted to look like red leather, and that super high collar on the top there with that sort of clasp section holding the whole thing together. And that's pretty much it as far as the outfit goes. Scantily clad. Let's leave it at that. You've got the band around the bicep area there, which is comic book accurate, and the bangles around the wrists, 3 on one, 4 on the other, screen accurate. You've got that gold crest on the abdomen section there. The body itself is a thing of beauty. As with most TB League fighting bodies, I am going to attempt to spin this round. Now, if she topples during this process, please accept my apologies. I just wanted to sort of show just how much the skimpiness of the attire continues around the back of this figure as well. Accessories, not a vast amount of accessories with this figure. You get obviously this ridiculously large base, you get her crossbow with some crossbow bolts, you get a plastic bat which will sit on her hand by clipping onto one of the fingers, and you get swap out hands as well. You also get a second head sculpt with this particular figure, and I've got to say, not a big fan of the second head sculpt. It's a little on the goofy side for me. She's got a tongue sticking out and one eye closed, and it doesn't really work for me. It looks like she's been drinking, but this head sculpt, well, we'll get to that, but the hands themselves, let's take a quick look at those. I really like these hands. Super simple. It's the length of those nails and the paint application on those nails, I think, is amazing. Obviously rooted hair, this one, super black hair, relatively easy to work with as well. No issues with working with it. It does tend to bounce up, but a little product in there from time to time keeps it calmed down. And I think this is one of the first rooted hair figures I got, and I was surprised actually how good it works. If you work it right, you can lose that doll-like look. The head sculpt itself, now there's been loads of different iterations of Vampirella. Carolyn Monroe was set to play her in the movies. There's been an Asian take by executive replicas, and her look changed pretty much through the growth and evolution of the comic books, becoming more modern. The look they've gone for here, I do like. I think it's very good. You've got that sort of green eyeshadow going on, that super glossy lipstick. The eyes are beautifully glassy. And I think it's a cracking head sculpt and a fantastic take on what is a fantastic classic character, in my opinion. So there you have it, folks. That's Vampirella, courtesy of Executive Replicas. Onwards and upwards. So the curtain rises on our final vampire of the evening, and what 1/6 scale vampire figure collection will be complete without Christopher Lee as the Count himself. Now, I think along with Bela Lugosi, probably the two most iconic portrayals of Dracula we've ever seen. Lee's hammer turn as Dracula has become legendary, bringing that suave sophistication and sexuality to the role. And what, of course, the plastic given us here? Well, we'll take a look at the proportions first before we jump in on that base. Because that's what's most striking about this figure, for me anyway. Lee was a tall guy, and they've captured that perfectly here. They've captured the gait, they've captured the size. Superb body as always with caustic plastic, with that articulation, and you feel like you've got a body of quality, and it just has the perfect proportions for me. The base itself, it's the usual story from caustic plastic, you know, that hollow plastic base with the magnetic attachments for the feet there, which works really, really well, and you've got that sticker on the top there, and the shoes themselves relatively straightforward as sculpted plastic, but what really, really brings this home to roost is the level of detail that's been gone into on this outfit, and the skill that's been used to put together this suit and cape. Now, regulars to the channel will know I'm a broken record when it comes to the tailoring on 1/6 scale suits, getting that stitch work right, getting the fall right, and I'm going to say it again and bore everybody to death, but it's a damn hard thing to do. It's one of the hardest things, I think, in 1/6 scale figure making, is getting a suit to look right. And caustic plastic haven't missed a beat here. It is phenomenal. The screen accuracy is there, the materials are beautiful. You've got that black lining on the inside of the cape. The material for the cape itself is absolutely gorgeous, although a dust and hair magnet. I would say if you're like me and you tend to get those little bits of skin that get caught on your fingers there, be careful when you're handling this, because it will be very easy to pull this. It is super delicate, but yeah, the suit itself underneath there is tailored within an inch of its life. Not a thread hanging down or a inaccurate seam anywhere. It's that three-piece look that he sported in the film. Now, it's the original Dracula film, often called the Horror of Dracula, and it's packaged by Caustic Plastic under the Horror of Dracula banner, and you get the Peter Cushing with that as well, the Van Helsing. But I went for the all-in with the deluxe edition here that comes with the coffin. You also get this candelabra. You get multiple swap-out hands with this figure, as you do with most Caustic Plastic figures, and once again, the hands are up to the same high standard of sculpt and paint application, and are super expressive, as you can see here. And it's great fun to muck around with the hands and go for different looks. But it's this outfit, absolutely excellent, from the cut of the jacket there with that top button done up, which is screen accurate, to the waistcoat underneath there. Everything tailored within an inch of its life. You've got that white shirt underneath with that black cravat going on. If I was to level any criticism at this particular piece, it's probably the cape. It's not the fall of the cape or the material. I think it's great. I don't think it needs wiring. I think to capture that Lee aesthetic from the film, it works perfectly. And as you can see from the back there, the fall is phenomenal. It just looks super clean and beautiful. But I suppose my only minor niggle with this cape is that tie at the neck area there. A little bit too thick for my taste. If you actually go back and look at the films, it wasn't quite as thick as that. Too rope-like for me. That could have been a little bit thinner there from Caustic Plastic, but that's a minor niggle on what is a spectacular figure. Now, two head sculpts with this figure, one fangs bared and blood everywhere, and then you get this one. I tend to go with this one more often in the display because I think this captures that quiet menace, that evil stare. Is just beautifully captured here by Caustic Plastic with the sculpt here, and there isn't an angle, once again, I'm going to say it again, where this isn't Christopher Lee. It's just nailed on. Paint applications are great. The skin tone and texture are superb. The eyes, the right colour, lovely and glassy. Those thick eyebrows are really well done. You've got a hint of grey starting at the temples there and running across the top. The hair itself is the right colour and beautifully done with those individual strands picked out. And overall, yeah, slight 5 o'clock shadow as well going on there, just for that added sense of realism. I think this is a phenomenal piece and a great way to end this video as a roundup of vampires. So there you have it, folks. That's Caustic Plastic's take on Christopher Lee as Dracula. I hope you've enjoyed this bit of vampiric fun. And please drop a like on this video, as I mentioned at the top there. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, we've got plenty more of these showcases, plenty more best-ofs and tours. We've got more episodes of Grail or Fail. We've got more previews and 6-scale reviews coming up. On the review front, we've got stuff from Hot Toys, we've got stuff from Caustic Plastic, Iconic Studios, X06, Present Toys, Susu Toys, the list goes on. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the 1/6 scale stuff that we've got coming up. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is, from the legion of vampires that we've looked at and myself, take care of yourselves, and until next time on the channel, happy collecting.